gentlemen, the opening ceremony. Det er en glede å gi ordet til president i Norges skøyteforbund. It's a pleasure to introduce the president of the Norwegian Skating Association, Mrs. Mona Adolfsen.
Dear skating friends, dear ISU representative, ISU officials, dear skaters, I really have a pleasure to welcome you here to Norway, to Stavanger and to Sørmarka Arena. This is a huge moment for us every year to welcome you all, to see you skate, your friendship, sharing for each other. And we are looking forward also to this weekend with a lot of joy, drama maybe, and hopefully also the audience you will share for everyone, wouldn't you? Great. So, and I will give also a big hand to all the volunteers that are here and also those helping outside. We couldn't do this without you. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce also the ISU official or representative. So, and thank you very much, Albert, for coming here again. So enjoy everyone for the next days. Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to introduce the ISU representative, Mr. Albert Hasloff.
Dear Mona, thank you very much for introducing me. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, great that you're here, and not only the older, but also a lot of younger people, and that's good for the sport. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here in this nice hall, this nice arena of Stavanger. And it's great, and Mona told us already, that this organization is done by so many volunteers, so many people who are behind the scenes, and now I should underline it, that this kind of tournaments would not be possible if they are there. So the sponsors also, in the media who are there, but also the office of the ISU and all the other office holders like starters and referees. So, but most of this tournament is about skating. It's about athletes. It's about winning or losing, but most of the times we win if we lose.
Stavanger, Norway, gateway to the fjords, the heart of oil country in Norway, and a popular cruise ship port as well. But this weekend, it's the home for the third stop in the ISU Speed Skating World Cup season. Hi everyone, Gavin Day here, back to help you guide you through another day of World Cup speed skating action. There we are, inside the Var Energy Arena in Stormarka, just south of downtown Stavanger. The best of the best are in Norway this weekend. Stavanger, if you're wondering, is about a 7 hours drive west of Oslo. After the two World Cups in Obihiro, Japan and Beijing, we had a week off, and now we are in Europe for the next two World Cup stops. You saw the schedule. Women's, then men's 1,000 meters, and then switching it up to something completely different, the women's and men's mass start. So it's a shorter program than previous weeks, just 4 events. It's an 8 p.m. start for skating there here in Norway. 10 pairs each in the men's and women's 1,000 meters. Lots of talking points certainly coming out of the two stops in Asia. Certainly Miho Takagi beating Yuta Lirdam's 6 World Cup win streak in the 1,000 meters. Lirdam will be trying to get things back on track this weekend. And we'll just take a look here. Some of the athletes arriving for competition here earlier this afternoon. Lots going on in Stavanger this weekend, actually. There is a handball women's World Cup event going, World Championships rather, going on also in the city, pretty much in the adjoining hotel to where these athletes are all staying. And as we take a look at some of the arrivals here, competition getting underway in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Så I sjette par Karolina Boschek fra Polen mot Elias Schmeling fra Storbritannia. Syvende par Ivani Blondin fra Canada mot Nayano Sato fra Japan. I åttende par raske Kimi Götz fra USA skal ut mot Miho Takagi fra Japan, som både holder verdensrekorden og leder verdenscupen sammenlagt etter 2 løp på denne distansen. Niende par Antoinette Reitman Jong Nederland mot Steve Bao, verdensrekordholder fra USA. Og i det tiende og siste paret Mei Han fra Kina mot Jutta Lerland fra Nederland. Så det duket for en strålende konkurranse med damenes 1000 meter. Tidligere I dag har vi gjort unna 1000 meter I B-divisjonen, og vi har også gjort unna fellesstart for kvinner og herrer, og gledelig nok, Adam Dahl Johansson vant fellesstarten for menn, noe som betyr at han rykker opp I A-gruppa ved neste korsvei. Da det 1 minutt til start, 1 minute until we start the first gear.
Inside of a minute until our first pair of the 1,000 meters. There's a look at the World Cup standings. Miho Takagi leading the way. Has a silver and a gold medal in the 1,000 meters. Yuta Lirdam second. Kimi Götz in third. Had some good podium combinations this year so far. The B group this morning had plenty of big names. The likes of Femke Koch, Aaron Jackson on the women's side, Jordan Stoltz on the men's side. Look at our pairs. You'll see Ragna Wiklund's name popping up all over the course of the weekend. She is the 1,000 meter Norwegian champion, but she has her eye on some of the other distances this weekend, namely the 5,000 meters. So this very much a warm-up for her. And there is Ragna Wiklund getting the ovation from the home crowd. Madison Pierman, 27 years old, from Panoka, Alberta. Anyway, as I mentioned, Vikeland, it's really 8,000 is going to be a warm-up for her. She is the Norwegian champion in the distance, but she eyes the longer distances. Potential mouth-watering race with Martina Sablikova coming up this weekend. Pierman leading through the first couple hundred meters, 18.86. Vikeland 19.33. Pierman, an Olympian from 2018, competed in both the 1,000 and the 1,500 meters. Pinoca, Alberta, in case you're wondering, sort of between Calgary and Edmonton, the province's capital to the north. Rural area, farm country. There is the bell. 2.5 laps in the 1,000 meters. It's Pierman leading the way, but it's Vikeland who had the faster lap time, closing the gap. Using that inner lane now, there will be the final crossover. 1,000 meters, an agonizingly long sprint. Looked like a good crowd in attendance here. Can seat about 4,000 people in Stavanger. And it's going to be Vikeland to the line, taking the first pair, 1:18.16. Madison Pierman, 1:18.84.
Madison Pierman 1:18.84. Et 18.84 for Pierman. Et 18.16. Vi ser hvor lenge det holder mot superstyrkene som kommer i senere par.
And so there is the time to beat so far. And the second pair has Mayun Lee in white on the inner lane. 18th in Obihiro, the 17-year-old, and then 19th in Beijing. Certainly an eye on the future. And on the outer lane, Ruining Tian of China, a 26-year-old, making her A-group debut. In case you're wondering, the track record here in Stavanger is a 1:14.16. That was set by Brittany Bowe, who also happens to hold the world record holder. They're not expecting fast times in Stavanger. It's another one of those low-level ice surfaces. It's also right near the ocean. Mayun Lee, fastest. Ruining Tian, second fastest opener right now. 1:18.16 is Vikeland's time. The winning time in the B division, I might add, this morning was 1:16.83. That was Femke Koch. There is the bell. It's Tian. Lap time 28.09, 28.30 for Lee. Both of them well in front right now. Plenty of room to work with, but we'll see how well they can maintain that speed down that back stretch. One more crossover to come, and then navigating one more turn. Tian, look at the pain etched into her face. The burn is real. Here comes Lee trying to make a race of it up the inside. Tian holding her off though, both arms down. It's going to be Tian going fastest, 1:17.42. Mayun Lee, 1:17.87. So they go 1 and 2 right now. And Vikeland's fastest time only doesn't even survive the first pair. But as I mentioned, that was a warm-up really for Ragnar Vikeland. But Tian has the fastest time right now.
We are ready with pair number 3. In the inner lane representing Korea, 1:13.7.
Another Korean skater on the inner lane, Kim Min-sun. And Kazakhstan's Alina Daudanova on the other lane. There's 24-year-old Kim Min-sun. Overall 500-meter World Cup champ from last season.
Go Gustav. Ready.
And Kim, the 24-year-old from Seoul, perhaps more suited to the 500 meters. A lot of her best results are there. She does have a 4 continents gold medal from last season. She has been adjusting to new boots, though, and I'm told it's even the subtlest of differences, the subtlest of changes can have big impacts. And so Kim is hoping that adaptation process will yield some results, obviously, in the future. She has the fastest opener so far. Daudanova, 16th in Beijing in the 1,000 meters. And it is still Kim leading things around, coming up to get the bell. Certainly the contrast. Face not giving away as much. Tian had pain etched all over every inch of her face, and it looks like Kim is going to go over the top on this crossover into the inner lane. Let's see how that propels her down the stretch, gutting out the final 100 meters or so. Kim, now the pain creeps in, just trying to keep the arm going, to keep the legs moving, dropping the arms. Kim to the line. 1:16.43, fastest by just about a second. Daudanova, 1:18.23, putting her into 5th place. We'll see how long Kim's time stands up. Still, but on the skates, even the most subtle of difference, the subtlest of changes can have a big impact in how someone feels and how comfortable they are skating. And so Kim did admit the adapting to the new boots has been something to get used to. 4th pair, another skater from Kazakhstan, Ekaterina Aidova and Sumire Kikuchi of Japan in the outer lane. 32-year-old Aidova. And Kikuchi, 12th in Obihiro, 18th in Beijing. Aidova's international success really came at the junior level and really in the 500 meters. She does have a 4 continents silver from a couple of years ago. 4 continents this year being held in Salt Lake City. That'll be in the new year. 1/10 of a second off the fastest time for Aidova. That's at the moment Kim Min-sun. Plenty of heavy hitters still to come, as always. The higher seeded skaters coming up near the end. Let's see how Aidova's time compares to Kim. Still sitting in 2nd right now. Kikuchi a little bit further adrift. It looks like Aidova's pair to lose at the moment. Kikuchi came up the inside there a little bit to take the temporary lead. And it's Aidova now using the inner lane. Now it's a much closer race. Kikuchi might actually take this one, and she does. Late surge, almost a second faster on that second lap. 1:17.47. Aidova a 1/10 of a second slower at 3rd and 4th at the moment. So Kikuchi able to have that little bit longer sprint endurance, able to make that surge late. Almost a second faster in that second full lap. Aidova went out hard, but couldn't really bring that one home. Already into our fifth pair. There's a look at Yuto Leerdam. She will be in the final pair. Rio Yamada on the inner lane from Japan, and Nadezhda Morozova of Kazakhstan. Yamada, 26 years old, 12th in the 1,000 in Beijing. Morozova, 25. She finished in 8th. They are cleanly away. I was told that the ice this week has not been going terribly quickly, and it seems to be indicative with the 1:16.43 from Kim Min-sun not really being in the realm of Brittany Bowes' track record here, about just almost 2.5 seconds off the pace. That may change in the final few laps. But Stavanger sitting right just about on the Atlantic Ocean. Really is the heart of Norway's oil and gas sector. It's had a history, of course, like a lot of seaports, of fishing as well. It's built in the 12th century. Yamada already dropping both the arms, just trying to maintain that speed. The key in the 1,000 is to prevent that bleed off of speed. And coming up to the line, it's Nadezhda Morozova. She goes fastest, 1:16.05. Yamada, 1:17.39. Good enough for third. And so Morozova keeping it under 30 seconds for that second full lap. And we have a new leader ahead of Kim Min-sun. Kim, I believe, is going to be a season high for her in the 1,000 meters after 17th and 15th. There's our current leader, Nadezhda Morozova. Would you like that one?
In the inner lane, representing Poland with a personal best of 1:4.
And sixth pair coming up, Karolina Bosiek of Poland and Elias Smeding of Great Britain on the outer lane.
Great Britain with a national record of 1:15.12. Elia Smeding.
Go, Gustav. Ready.
Smeding, pretty consistent results through 2 races. 13th in Obihiro, 11th in Beijing. Bosiek, also similar. She was 11th in Japan and then jumped up into the top 10 into 9th in Beijing on the Olympic ice. And Bosiek fastest through the first 200 meters by 12 hundredths of a second, 18.32. Smeding just a hair over 19. So she has some work to do as Bosiek throwing down the gauntlet with the fastest opener. It is, as always, not how you start, but how you finish. So maintaining that speed is now the big priority. Smeding closing the gap a little bit with that inner lane. Bosiek's now fallen back. 46.43 your intermediate time. Smeding 47.22. Very comparable lap times, about 1/10 of a second difference. And Bosiek going to get the slightest of drafts as Smeding went quickly out into the outer lane. Bosiek leading this one around. She is going to pull away just a little bit. Going to take this one and set the 5th fastest time. Smeding actually had the faster lap by 6/10 of a second, so she sets the 8th fastest time, 1:17.62.
1:17.62 and into 8th position so far. 1:17.62 inn på en 8. plass for britiske Elias Smeding. Vi er klart for det 7. og siste paret. Unnskyld, det siste. Vi er klart for 7. paret. We ready with pair number
Brittany
7
Bowe in the foreground
the
there.
lane. Representing Canada with a personal best of 1:13.
Now into the 7th pair, there's Antoinette Reitma-de-Jong. The 7th pair, Ebony Blondin, the Canadian. You'll see her later today in the mass start on the inner lane. And in the outer of Japan, Ayano Sato. Sato 9th and 10th so far this season. Blondin 7th and 14th. But Blondin, one of the busiest skaters out there, doing individual events and then team pursuit, team sprint. She also did the mixed relay in Obihiro. So Ebony Blondin, one of the busiest skaters out there. Not the fastest of openings. 11th and 9th fastest opening 200 meters. Sato, a member of the 2018 Olympic team pursuit gold medal winning team. There is the bell, side by side. Very close between them. About 15/100ths of a second. Blondin just that little bit faster right now. Be calling her name a lot later on in the team pursuit. Her and Marijke Groenewold going head-to-head, amongst others, of course. And now it's Blondin pulling things out, rounding the final turn. The drive for home is on. This is going to be Blondin's pair. Where will she finish? Goes to 3rd, 1:16.47. Sato, 1:17.83. Shrug of the shoulders from Blondin. 29.66 final lap time from her. Surging late. Into the final few pairs. Things are about to get interesting.
Vi gjør klart for det 8. paret. We are ready with pair number 8. In the inner lane, representing the USA.
There's Kimmy Getz, currently 3rd overall in the 1,000-meter World Cup standings. And just outside her, a woman who, to use a very somewhat tired cliche, who needs no introduction. I will then introduce her, Miho Takagi. Takagi, defending world all-around champion, Getz, whose first gold medal last year actually came in the 1,000, but she has won 500 meters so far this year, but Getz 3rd and 2nd, Takagi 2nd and 1st in the 1,000. Now they go head-to-head, and it's Getz with the early advantage, over half a second already. What an opener by the American. Takagi also 0.4 of a second faster than the fastest opener. But now, maintaining that speed is the order of the day. Takagi coming up the inside lane. Her and Getz going just about side by side. There is the bell. Just 200 separating these two women. Takagi in front now. Gets, maybe, did she go out too quickly? The final few hundred meters will decide that. The chase down the back stretch. Gets with a very low position that she has, trying to chase down one of the most accomplished skaters in the game today. It's Gets, inner, Takagi, outer, Takagi bringing this one to the line by a half a second. Miho Takagi, P1 for her. Gets goes second fastest. 1:15.52, the time to beat for Takagi.
1:15.88. Currently ranked second for Kimi Götz.
Two skaters at the top of their game right now. Four more skaters who are no slouches themselves.
We are ready with pair number 9,
And the ninth pair.
With a personal best of
Antoinette Reitma de Jong
61.
hasn't had perhaps her best 1,000 meters so far this season.
And in upper lane, the
But a
world
big
record
jump
holder
from
of
16th in week 1 to 5th.
USA, Brittany Bowe.
So is there a better jump, bigger jump coming? It's been 2 weeks since we last saw them. There is Bowe, the great 35-year-old world record holder and track record holder. Reitma de Jong, a bit of an unusual sight a couple weeks ago in Beijing when she did the team sprint for the Netherlands. Femke Koch, one of many skaters who was down with a big stomach virus. There was a number of skaters out sick last weekend, and it's Bowe, 0.02 of a second faster than the fastest time right now, the third fastest opener. Reitma de Jong, certainly plenty of palmares in the longer distances, and so we should see her skating into this race, I would imagine. But it's Bowe right now. Not often you see skaters going without the sunglasses, but that has been one of Bowe's trademarks. Always easy to spot her. 27.81 lap time for Brittany Bowe. 1/4 of a second off the pace right now. We'll see what is left in reserve now. Reitma de Jong is now, when she starts to find her legs, looks like it's going to be very close into that final turn. Reitma de Jong in orange. Brittany Bowe in the navy blue with the stars, and it is Antoinette Reitma de Jong pulling ahead. She'll take the pair and go into second. 1:15.74. Bowe in fifth, 1:16.09, and so another little jump up the rankings for Antoinette Reitma de Jong, finding her legs back in Europe now. Going to finish no lower than fourth. Will be her best 1,000-meter result of the season. Already the 10th and final pair. There's a look at your leader, Miho Takagi. And on the outer lane, the woman who wants to get back to winning ways, Jutta Leerdam, the 24-year-old. There's Mei Han as well, the 25-year-old from China, 8th and 7th so far this year. Leerdam, who had to settle for 3rd place in Beijing, aiming higher in Stavanger. Leerdam, second overall in the World Cup standings in the 1,000 meters so far this year, by virtue of winning the first World Cup in Obihiro. And then following that up, as I just mentioned, with a bronze medal in Beijing, eyeing the top of the podium once again. We'll see how they compare. Jutta Leerdam right there through the first 200 meters. Sixth fastest opener, but just 0.03 of a second off Takagi's time. Gets a bit of a draft there behind Mei Han as they make that crossover down the back stretch. First full lap will be a key telling point in where they are. And the bell, Leerdam is now faster by almost 0.4 of a second. 27.15 the lap time. Hay a little bit further adrift, 0.3 of a second off the pace. Always in the back of your mind, what is left in reserve? Leerdam, the arm dangling a little bit there, trying to close it out. The final few hundred meters, she had some time to work with. We'll see what's left. Leerdam drops the arms, brings it to the finish, and she takes it. 1:15.26. Mehan ninth, 1:16.54, but Jutta Leerdam going right back atop a World Cup podium in 1,000 meters. Miho Takagi second, and Fadik low 5 with the coach. Thanking the support. Plenty of Dutch fans have made the trip over to Norway for this one. And Jutta Leerdam back to winning ways in the 1,000 meters in Stavanger.
The victory goes to Jutta Leerdam. Mens Ragnhild Wiklund ender på en 18. plass på distansen med 1:18.16. 1:18.16 for Ragnhild Wiklund. Blir da den raskeste norske i dag på 1000 meter, også inklusive de som gikk i begerplan. Men nok en gang seier til Jutta Leerdam, som da kun har tapt en gang på de siste 18 konkurransene hun har deltatt i. Da det et lite sceneskifte før vi skal i gang med herrenes distanse om cirka 7 minutter. We will start the men's 1,000 meter in 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Look at the results. Leerdam, Takagi, and Antoinette Wright-Medeyong on the podium in the 1,000 for the first time this season, as she starts to round into form. And so 2 Dutch skaters, 1 Japanese skater on the podium. Kimi gets the U.S. in 4th, and Nadezhda Morozova, her best result of the season, in 5th place. And all the way down to finish off the top 20. And that wraps up the women's 1,000 meters. You might have heard the in-arena announcer saying just under 7 minutes until the men's 1,000. And look at that. Leerdam, Takagi, 1 and 2 tied on points in the overall standings right now. Getz and Bo and Wright-Medeyong moving up into 5th place in the World Cup standings. Just a few minutes, take a quick tiny pause, and then we'll be back for the men's 1,000 meters. Stay with us.
Lots of fun, lots of smile, and a great way to celebrate this first day of World Ice Skating.
couple minutes away from the men's 1,000 meters. Of course, the musical interlude provided by the one and only Kleintje Pils. It's not a World Cup stop in Europe without them. Look at the men's 1,000 meters coming in, the World Cup standings. Kjeld Nuis, first overall, picked up the win in Beijing. Masaya Yamada, pardon me, in third. He picked up the win in Obihiro. And there are a look at the first 5 pairs. The defending Olympic silver medalist, Laurent Dubreuil of Canada, will go in pair 1, saying he's starting to feel much better.
Third pair, Damian Zurek, Cooper McLeod. Fourth pair, Vincent Deet against Connor Howe. Fifth pair, Kazuya Yamada.
All Canadian pair in pair number 4.
Sixth pair, we have Moritz Klein against Tim Prince. Seventh pair,
A couple of German skaters here. And looking at the end, of course, Kjeld Nuis. Nice. Pair number 8. Yamada pair 9 against Zhongyang Ning. And then Havard Lorentzen back on the podium a couple weeks ago in the final pair. So if you look at the 500-meter World Cup standings for the men, it's been all the flags you'll see are the land of the rising sun. Japan dominant in the 500 meters. The 1,000's a bit of a different story, so let's see how open this field is. There's a look at Vincent Dehetre of Canada. As I mentioned, 2 German skaters in the A division men's 1,000 meters. The first one will be in the first pair. As I mentioned, Canada's Laurent Dubreuil against Hendrik Dombeck of Germany. Hasn't skated in the A division yet this season. He's from Erfurt, Germany. 26 years old.
Go to the start. Ready.
Dubreuil happy with his 500-meter silver medal at the World Cup stop in Beijing a couple weeks ago. Said he's starting to feel form. He's dealt with knee tendonitis that kept him really off the ice in August and September. Also had back issues in Obihiro. Sort of a walking or skating mash unit is the 31-year-old Canadian. But he says he's starting to feel a little bit happier these days, and he has the fastest time in the opening pair through the first 200 meters. Back-to-back 500-meter World Cup champion. Silver medal from the Olympics, though. And it is still Dubreuil coming up to the bell. 25.49 the lap time. Dombeck 25.60. So not a lot between these two men. We'll see what kind of endurance the two have in the final stretch. Crossover one final time. Keeping the arms going, keeping the legs going. When the brain and the legs get tired, the brain has to take over, and it is Dombeck who is leading this pair. He'll bring it to the line. 109.79. Over a second faster than Dubreuil on that lap. 110.37 for the Canadian. They saw his shake of the head. He's never one to shy away from showing how he felt about that race. And it is Dombeck. He was born in Munich. Taking the pair, barely staying on his feet there at the end. Pair number 2, Zach Stoppelmoor of the United States. And the Netherlands, Timon Snell.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Stoppelmoor, the man from Des Moines, Iowa, using that down start. And down he goes. on Stoppelmoor. Head down on the ice. Kudos to him for continuing on. Another look at what happened there. It's Snell on his own now. He was 20th in Obihiro to kick off the World Cup season. Didn't skate the 1,000 in the A division in Beijing. And it is Snell who, of course, will take this pair barring any unforeseen catastrophe. Coming up to the bell. Snell, who has a gold medal from a junior team sprint world championships. Silver in the juniors in the team pursuit. And he's going to win the pair. He'll go 1:09.823, hundredths of a second. Just into second. And around comes Stoppelmoor. Didn't even have time to say he was 15th in this distance in Beijing. Gets a nice ovation from the home crowd in Norway. A shake of the head, and his expression speaks volumes. Just a few strides in. 2 separate falls. There's one. And miles of heart, though, from the American. The body appears to be fine, and he'll pick himself up, dust himself off, and come back to fight for another day. Third pair. Looking at replays, it's Damian Zuek of Poland and Cooper McLeod of the United States. Cleanly away. McLeod, one of the youngsters in the U.S. programs, 22 years old. He was on the team pursuit, team sprint gold medal winning team in Beijing a couple of weeks ago. But it is Zurek going with the fastest 200-meter opener, 16.51 through 200 meters. McLeod at 16.75. Zurek has been 15th and 12th in the 2,000 meters this season. McLeod, 13th, his better result in Japan, and then slipped down to 19th in Beijing. Some skaters do better on different ice in different conditions, and right now, Damian Zurek, almost 0.7 of a second faster right now. McLeod also faster than the previous fastest time, but he's second in the pair right now. Everybody cleanly through that crossover. Zurek leading things around the corner the final time. And the big grimace, dropping the arms, bringing it to the line. Damian Zurek goes fastest, 1:09.16 by 0.6 of a second. McLeod faded on that second lap, 1:10.85. He slips down to 5th place. The men's B division earlier today had Jordan Stoltz winning by nearly 1.3 seconds. He put up a 1:08.47, which is not far off the track record. The track record, by the way, 1:08.10. That's set by Pavel Kulishnikov.
In a lane, representing Canada, the national record of
Look at Lorenzen. Go back to back. It's an all-Canadian pair, Vincent Dehetre and Connor Howe.
Go to the start. Ready.
These two men, first and third at the Canadian Championships back in October. Howe was the winner that day in Calgary. De Hetre was third with Dubreuil in second. So far this season, De Hetre 11th and 14th, Howe 16th and 10th. There's certainly not much between these two skaters. 1/100th of a second separating their opening 200 meters. Not the fastest openers we've seen so far. De Hetre is a multiple-time 1,000-meter Canadian champion in speed skating and in track cycling. He won the kilo the same year he won the 1,000 on the ice. An interesting double to be sure. De Hetre, an Olympian in both summer and winter games. And it's Howe now in front. 0.08 of a second separating the two men. 6th and 7th fastest times at this point. We'll see what kind of finishes they have. It's De Hetre who will move into the inner lane. We're trying to keep track of them with the similar skin suits, the black and white. Side by side they come. It looks like it's Howe who's going to take it. Indeed, that is the case by 0.05 of a second. 1:10.04, 1:10.09 by De Hetre. Fourth and fifth at the moment, and right now Dubreuil in sixth. 4.56 are the men from Canada. That much is 0.05 of a second. Howe, though, clearly taking it. In the fifth pair, Zach Stompelmoor getting checked out. And in the fifth pair, Kazuya Yamada from Japan on the inner lane. Martin Leave out of Estonia on the outer. Big jump for Leave, was 17th in Obihito. Jumped into 7th in Beijing 2 weeks ago. Yamada was sort of the opposite, started with an 8th on home ice in Obihito, and then dropped to 13th in Beijing. It's going to be interesting to follow the Japanese skaters this weekend. Absolutely dominant, particularly in the 500 meters in Japan and in China. We'll see how that translates over to Europe. Of course, everybody had to go through jet lag and time jumps to get back over here. Yamada a little bit faster, Leave with the faster, a little bit slower rather, Leave the faster opener. About a tenth of a second faster than Yamada. It's Leave leading things around, coming up to the bell. Very even pair, though, stride by stride. And look at that, almost identical time. And that tenth of a second Leave had in the opener, Yamada just went and got it right back on the first full lap. Half a second off the pace right now. And it is Yamada who will have the benefit of that inner lane coming down the stretch, and it looks like he may be moving in front ahead of Leave, bringing it to the line. Yamada with the dash to the line. He goes fastest by 0.06 of a second. 1:09.10, 1:09.77 for Martin Leave. Good enough for third. And so Yamada, that burst of speed at the end, I think he just found something at the end and pushed a little bit more, and by 0.06 of a second, Yamada moves to the top of the leaderboard. It's a very familiar sight. The Japanese flag atop the leaderboard. But we shall see what happens in the final 5 pairs. Moritz Klein of Germany on the inner. Tim Prince of the Netherlands on the outer lane. Klein
The
7th
representing
and
the
9th
Netherlands
so
with
far this year.
107.96, Tim Prince.
Prince, 20 years old.
Go to the start. Ready.
Klein lives in Erfurt, which of course is the home for an oval. Has an oval there. Has hosted many a World Cup event. Prince, just 20 years old, but already flirting with consistency. 12th in Japan, 8th in China in the 1,000 meters, setting the fastest opener here. Third fastest opener, but a tenth of a second faster than the fastest time. If I made that clear. It's a nice crossover into the inner lane. It is Prinz in front right now. Moritz Klein, 7th and 9th so far, so we'll see what kind of finishing kick he has. It's Prinz right now, almost 4/10 of a second faster. But we saw what kind of push Yamada had in that final lap. Decisive, couple hundred meters, half a lap to go. It's Prinz comfortably in front. How much speed is he maintaining, though? He has the outer lane. The burn that much more pronounced. He is on pace to win this pair and goes third. 109.49 Klein. 109.92 fast enough for 7th right now.
Ranked as number 3 for Tim Prince, Moritz Klein, 109.92, and into 7th position so far. 109.92 og inn på en foreløpig 7. plass for Moritz Klein. Det betyr Yamada i ledelsen fortsatt med 109.10 foran Sorek, med Tim Prince nå på en 3. plass. Og vi klare med det 7. paret. We ready with pair number 7.
Into the 7th pair. Italy's David Bosa and Jenning Deboo of the Netherlands on the outer lane. Got a good look there of Kjeld Nuis. Also the 31-year-old so far this season, 5th and an 11th in this distance.
Go to the start.
And Deboo, another one of those next generation Dutch talents, but already skating amongst the best in the world.
Ready.
Deboo, 10th in Japan, 6th in Beijing, already 19th and just a few steps away from the podium. Year after year after year, Dutch skaters. Bosa, not far behind. It's Deboo, faster than the opening 200. Set by Yamada, third fastest overall, but we've seen a few times now falling by the wayside. Athletes not able to maintain that full 1,000 meters. Deboo up the inside. He'll come up and get the bell. Bosa, though, not far behind. Deboo in the green. He has about a half a second to work with on Yamada. Is there perhaps a little hitch in the stride? You see the pain. He is certainly feeling it. Will it be reflected in the time? Oh, the grimace. That hurts. The burn. It's almost over. Coming to the line. And he slips to third. 109.24. Bosa, 109.91. And so Kazuya Yamada has seen a few challengers falling by the wayside. Three pairs to go, but it is loaded with talent, as you can imagine.
Vi gjør klart for det 8. paret, in pair number 8. Inner lane representing Japan with a personal best of
And on the inner lane,
1:08.28.
Tetsuya Shinhama. And on the outer lane, leader overall in the 1,000 meters.
Personal record of 1:06.8.
Kjeld Nice, named Shinhama, 27 years
From the
old.
Netherlands, Kjeld
Just
Nuis.
such a powerful skater. Sometimes not able to control that much power.
Goal to the start. Ready.
Both of these men do have 4th places in World Cups. Nice got his in Obihiro. Shinhama got his in Beijing, and of course, Nice won gold in Beijing, and it's Shinhama with the fastest 200 meters right now. Yamada's time under a severe threat by 2 men right now. Both of them have shown the ability to maintain their speed. Let's see, side by side at the bell, it's Shinhama by just a little bit. 25.37 is lap time. Nice. Coming into the race, 25.22. We'll see how that continues. Shinhama, is he laboring a little bit? We know his prowess in the 500 as well. Nice. Bringing it around, Shinhama on the inner lane. The drive to the line. Is there a last second charge? It's going to be Nice holding him off. 1 and 2. 1:08.76, 1:08.88 by Shinhama. And so finally, it took 2 exceptional skates to knock off Kazuya Yamada's time.
Currently ranked as number 2, Shinhama.
But there is still more to come. That track record a little bit more precarious, into about 0.6 of a second off. We're going to have to go even closer on that.
In the inner lane, representing Japan with a national
Get in on that track record.
1:07.03, Masaya Yamada.
And in the 9th pair, Masaya Yamada, 3rd overall in the World Cup standings. And Zhongyang Ning of China, 2nd overall in the World Cup standings. Yamada, who won in Japan, slipped to 17th in Beijing. And Ning, 24-year-old, has just been consistent. 2 races, 2 podiums.
Ready.
Ning, 24 years old, has won 2,000 meters in his career, so he hasn't been on the top of the podium yet this season, but he has experienced it on World Cup in the 1,000 meters. Yamada, as I mentioned, had a big drop-off in his result in Beijing. We'll see what 2 weeks have done towards getting him back on track. Not a bad opener for both of them. See how the pair matches up. Looks like it's pretty even so far. It's Ning up on the inner lane right now. He'll come up and get the bell first. Ning just a couple hundredths of a second back. 25.21 his lap time. Yamada 25.70. He is a little bit off the pace. We'll see what that final inner lane can do for him. But right now, Zhongyang Ning, 2nd overall in the World Cup standings, 2nd and 3rd through the 2 races, eyeing the top of the podium. We'll see, is there a 3rd color on offer for him? Ning inside 100 meters. He's going to take the pair. Where does he go? He goes to 6th, 1:09.30. Yamada, 1:09.60. So 6th and 8th for these 2 men. By the fraction of a second, the difference between the best in the world.
60 for Yamada.
For the first time this year, Zhang Yangning will not be on the podium.
Keltner som leder foran Satsuya Shinama og broder Kazuya Yamada. Og vi har ett par igjen. Vi er klare for det 10. og siste paret. I indre bane fra Norge med norsk rekord på 1.06,51.
And in the final pair, Havard Lorenzen, hometown favorite. And on the outer lane, Taiyo Nonomura, 4th and 5th overall World Cup standings right now.
Ball to the start. Ready.
And of course, Lorenzen, former 1,000 meter Olympic silver medalist, 500 meter gold medalist. Aren't tons of skaters over the age of 30. Perhaps tapping into the fountain of youth a couple of weeks ago to pick up a silver medal in this distance. And we'll see what home nation support does for him. Neither of them have the fastest openers. We'll see how they skate into this one, both around 0.2 of a second off the pace, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a ton of time. There's some pretty big chunks of time taken up on these full laps. It is Nonomura, 5th overall in the World Cup standings, coming up to get the bell. Another skater who's been consistent so far this season, 6th and 5th, 0.03 of a second separating the two. It's Nonomura right now on the inner lane, but he will have to, of course, cross over to the outer. Lorenzen, seeing what kind of draft he can get, saving it until the last second to duck into that inner lane, bringing this one around the corner the final time. It's Lorenzen, it's Nonomura, it's going to be Nonomura taking it, and he will go to 6th, 109.29, 109.32, Havard Lorenzen. And so celebrations for the Netherlands once again. Kjeld Nuis, back-to-back wins for the man in the orange.
Gratulerer vinneren. Vi kan congratulate Kjeld Nuis as the winner with 108.76. 108.76. Nummer 2 Tatsuya Shinhama.
Fans with the orange scarves who made the trip from the Netherlands. So far, 2 gold medals in 2 races for the Dutch.
Number 5, Jenning de Boer, the Netherlands, with 109.24. And in 6th place, Ning Songyang from People's Republic of China with 109.30. Dermed 1000-meteren over. Håvard endte på en 8. plass med 1.09.32. Det tett som hagl. 3 små hundredeler opp til 6. plassen, for eksempel. Vi skal om litt ha seiersseremoni for 1000 meter kvinner og 1000 meter menn. Og minner om fellesstarten, som starter klokken 21.
The results, Kjeld Nuis, 108.76, Shinama, 108.88, and Yamada, Kazuya Yamada, 109.10. And so 2 more podia for Japan. It's only been Japan and the Netherlands on the podium so far in Stavanger. 3 medals for each nation so far. And the rest of the results. So gold for the Netherlands, silver and bronze for Japan. So that means 2 silvers and a bronze so far for Japan this weekend. The Netherlands have 2 gold and a bronze. Not a bad haul through 2 races. And the updated World Cup standings. Nice. 163, Zhang Yangning still holding on to second with 138, and then 3 straight Japanese skaters, 3, 4, and 5. They're going to give out the medals for that event, and we'll be back after they resurface for the mass Mass start, pardon me. Back in a moment.
Så minner vi også om at det er verdens eller skøytedag den 3. desember, om 2 små dager, og det er masse arrangementer som foregår i forbindelse med det. Vi kommer tilbake til det i løpet av de neste par dagene, men veldig fint om så mange som mulig møter opp her inne for å være med oss og feire World Ice Skating Day, som er 3. desember på søndag. We kindly ask all team participants that are not going to compete in the mass start to leave the infield, except of course for those necessary, the athletes necessary for the award ceremonies. Kindly leave the infield in preparation for the mass start. Damer og herrer, medaljeseremoni for 1000 meter kvinner. Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony for 1000 meter women. The medals will be presented by the ISU representative, Mr. Albert Hassan. Number 3, presenting the Netherlands, Antoinette Reitma de Jong. Og nummer 1 og vinner, number 1 and the winner from the Netherlands, Jutta Lea.
Thank you very much. One more for the guys back there.
Don't show this to Chief to get the greater guys. It's so weird.
Number 3, number 3, representing Japan, Suya Yamada. Number 2, also from Japan, Satsuya Shinhama. Og nummer 1 og vinner, number 1, and the winner from the Netherlands, Kel Nuts. Kel Nuts, Tatsuya Shinhama, Suya Yamada, congratulations. Congratulations to the athletes.
Yeah. Okay, of course.
Go there for the mass start. Oh yeah, they're gonna.
We kindly ask all the athletes not competing and also all team officials to kindly leave the infield. Thank you. Dankjewel, Kleintje Pils.
If you have been watching speed skating over the years and wondering who that is, that's Kleintje Pils, the great Dutch band. Name literally means little beer, and they certainly bring the party whenever they perform. Women's mass start coming up in just a few minutes. There's a look at the standings right now. Yvonne Blondin leading things right now, first and second her World Cup finishes. Of course, Marijke Groenewold down there in 9th place, but she skipped the first World Cup of the season in Japan, but picked up a win in China. As they do the introductions, I'll just read through them. There's Yvonne Blondin, the overall World Cup leader, identifiable by that yellow cap on her helmet, wearing number 1. Mia Kilberg Manganiello of the United States will be up next. There she is. I'll just read through it. Valerie Malte of Canada. Caitlin McGregor of Switzerland. Oh, they're taking a minute before they introduce the field, it seems. I, however, will read through. Caitlin McGregor of Switzerland. Jiwoo Park of Korea, Ramona Hardy of Switzerland, Wenjing Jin of China, Marijke Groenewold of the Netherlands, Michelle Udig of Germany, Josephine Heimerl, also of Germany, Georgia Birkeland of the United States, Sandrine Tass of Belgium, Olga Piotrowska of Poland, Lucy Korvasova of Czech Republic, Magdalena Chischon of Poland, and Irena Schouten of the Netherlands. 16 skaters in all. There'll be confirmation of the start list for you right there. Feel free to read through at your leisure. The numbers there are their cap numbers. So if someone breaks away off the front and they have several skaters in the field, just look for the helmet. We'll just let them do the introductions before getting underway.
Poland, Olga Piotrowska. 14, Czech Republic, Lucy Korvasova. 15, Poland, Magdalena Chischon. And 16, Netherlands, Irene Schouten.
Just a few minutes, they will be off, and in a mass start, it really is a start. They're off like a herd of turtles. Not the fastest of starts. And even the gun sounded a little disappointed there. Of course, it's not time that matters so much, it's just all the skaters around you. You know how it is. Every 4 laps, there will be a sprint hotspot for some points, but it's the big one at the end that matters most. Now, 2 weeks ago, it was particularly interesting. Marijke Groenewold tried to break away. The first time she did it, Blondin was wise to her attempts and marked the attack and just sat behind her. Groenewold sat up for a little bit, and then she tried a second time, and this time she was able to break away, and the field did not have it in them to make the catch, and so Groenewold won World Cup number 2, and then it was the 2 Canadians, Blondin and Valerie Malte, 2nd and 3rd. Certainly the one to watch are in orange. Never count out Schouten as well. The front right now. It is Gronewold Schouten just sitting right at the very back right now. Nobody wanting to snap up the points just yet. The Swiss skaters are in those black skin suits, but very red and white lower down. Switzerland speed skating, not the biggest of sports there, but Youth Olympics, the speed skating was in St. Moritz outdoors, and it was like skating in a postcard. And the likes of Livio Wenger and these two women here, Caitlin McGregor, Ramona Hardy, trying to put Swiss speed skating on the map. And it is Olga Piotrowska of Poland on the breakaway. The bell for the sprint lap. Piotrowska 22nd and 14th her World Cup results this time. And there's Gronewold trying to sneak away again. And I don't see much of a Canadian. There is Blondin there, marking things a little bit. There is a bit of a pack breaking away. It looks like it could be, in fact, be one of the Swiss skaters coming around to get the points. We'll await confirmation. There it is. And it's Caitlin McGregor. Born in Switzerland. Her father was a hockey coach over there, and she just stayed. McGregor, Udig, and Piotrowska. 1, 2, and 3. There's a long-range attack. Is this Schouten now trying to go? Malte sitting right behind. Wonder what team tactics are at play. Malte on Schouten and Blondin on Gronewold. That might actually be the case right now as another attack comes off the front. It's Mia Kilberg-Manganiello, certainly a dangerous skater, going on the attack. Schouten and Malte trying to follow them up. And it's a very, very early attack, but Kilberg-Manganiello, one of the better mass distance skaters, and so this is quite an elite group off the front right now. As Schouten and Malte link up with the American, and that's a pretty potent attack right there. Chischon sort of stuck in between right now. Let's see if she can bridge up. If there is any let up in the breakaway, Chischon would be able to close things down a little bit. Now, will this group work together? A sprint lap coming up. Work is something of a team pursuit, with each person taking a turn at the front. I think Schouten wants them to go. I don't know if the other two want to. Kilberg-Manganiello and Malte both looking around. Schouten, I think, trying to say, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's Kilberg-Manganiello off the front right now. Chischon just dangling off the back there in fourth right now. There really is not a lot of organization in the field. Kilberg-Manganiello, Malte, and Schouten taking those points. Now the tempo is raised. It's just a straightaways difference. The main group has not done much work. The likes of Gronewold and Blondin, knowing their teammates are in the breakaway, are they just letting them go and letting other teams try to chase? Because I think that gap is coming down. Kilberg-Manganiello. Of course, Birkeland is the other American, and now it's the Swiss at the front, having to do the lion's share of the pacing, trying to close it back, but it's about 3/4 of a lap right now. This could be your podium already with 5 laps to go. And yeah, when they're standing up looking around, that just about spells the death knell of the Greg. That could be your podium. Now we just need to figure out who finishes where. Schouten, the mass start, gold medalist from the Olympics, one of 4 that she won in 2022. Kilberg-Manganiello was 4th in the mass start in Beijing in 2022. And that's something of a second group forming with Gronewode on the front. It's all over the place right now. It's about as chaotic a mass start as I've seen in quite some time. And Kilberg, Manganiello, Schouten, and Malte, 1, 2, and 3 once again. Malte, of course, the short track background. Shishchan still not able to close that gap, but I think she might be on course for her best finish. Malte has never won a World Cup mass start. Her gold medals are in team pursuit. Perhaps chasing her very first today. It looks like they've really given up the ghost right now. The three elite teams there, or the three teams with some of the best mass start skaters, know their teammates are in the break. Not much point for them chasing with a teammate in line for a medal. It's Malte in front right now. Kilberg, Manganiello in second. And just enjoying that draft at the back, Irene Schouten. And that's just about the lap right there. And now the attack comes with the traffic in front. 1 lap to go. Trying to take advantage of the chaos a bit in front of them. It's Schouten. It's Malte. I don't think Kilberg Manganiello's in this one. And for the second week in a row, it's a Dutch skater on course catching the back of the main group. It's Schouten in front. Malte trying to keep touch. I don't think she has enough in it. It's Irene Schouten coming to the line, looking like she's going to take the mass start. And yes, she does, emphatically. Malte second. Mia Kilberg Manganiello of the United States in third. And so 3 World Cup races in women's mass starts. 3 medals for the Netherlands with 3 different skaters. Of course, Esther Kiel in week 1 in Obihito picking up a silver medal.
So we only have 4 skaters who actually finished the race. Won by Irene Schouten ahead of
Irene Schouten of the Netherlands.
Manganiello as number 3.
1 Malte, second straight medal. This time it's a silver.
Very, very strong performance by the Olympic champions, Irene Schouten and Valerie Malte. Not at least
So the Olympic
Mia
champion
Kilberg
now has a World Cup win here this season.
Hopefully have the results on the scoreboard pretty soon.
We'll await confirmation of the results.
Only the top 4 actually finished the race.
And as there was perhaps a bit of a lull with the catch being made of the main group, the Olympic champion says, "I'm going now." And that was really all she wrote. Kilberg Manganiello was the first to lose contact, and Malte couldn't really keep touch. Oh, there was a crash that I missed there.
A very interesting race. We had 16 skaters at the start. 4 of them
Not sure
were
if that will
knocked
affect
and,
the final
finished
results.
the race.
That was Sandrine Tass of Belgium. I think she was involved with Georgia Birkeland there of the United States.
As we can see on the screen,
And
all
your
of
winner?
the back was left.
And that, 3 wins in 3 races for the Netherlands so far this weekend, maintaining a perfect start. Whenever you
The
see
start for the
officials
men's
meeting
race
like
is
that,
approximately 10 minutes, 21:45.
whenever see them
21:45
meeting like
start
that,
for the men's
discussions are afoot. I'm not sure our
mass
final
start.
rankings will be affected. At least for our podium.
You can see the results of the scoreboard. Irene Salten, the queen of the game, wins again ahead of Valerie Malte with Mia Gilbert Mangonello in third place. We will see them on the podium later.
as we get ready for men's mass start. There's a look at the overall standings right now, and the Dutch looking for a perfect sweep of the gold medals on day one, and Bart Hoelwerf could certainly provide that for them. He won the first stop in Japan earlier this season and had a fourth 2 weeks ago. The great Bart Swings. Also in the mix, Andrea Giovannini, who won in Beijing, is also here. And Andrea Di Stefano, who had an impressive silver, is also here. Here's a look at the start list. Livio Wenger wears number 5. He had a crash. I believe it was the final lap of the race in Beijing, and so finished 20th, but obviously not too worse for wear. He's back here and ready to go again. So they're reviewing the results of the women's race, and I'm just wondering out loud. It looks like they were just for the other places. I was wondering if the lap made any difference, but no, they have the standings right now at Schouten, Malte, Kilberg, Manganiello. So I'm going to believe that that's how things finished.
2 minutes away from the start of the mass start for men. 16 laps to skater number 1 from the
As they introduce, as will I will quickly read through. Bart Hoelwerf of the Netherlands in that yellow helmet. The rest are in blue. They're the World Cup leader. You get that red marker. Bart Swings of Belgium. Number 3, Andrea Giovannini. 4, Daniele Di Stefano. Number 5, Livio Wenger. 6th, Antoine Jelena Beaulieu of Canada. Timothy Lubino of France. Number 7, Kota Kikuchi of Japan. Seung-Hoon Lee of Korea. Jai Won-chung, 9 and 10, also of Korea. Ethan Seperin of the United States, number 11. Gabriel Odor of Austria has number 12. Marcel Bosker of the Netherlands, number 14. Christian Gamma-Ulekleiv. Felix Reinen of Germany and Felix Mali of Germany, 15 and 16. Connor McDermott Mustoe, number 17 of the United States. Number 18 is Connor Howe of Canada. Peter Michael of New Zealand is number 19. And number 20, Artur Janicki.
15,
I'll let them catch up.
16, Germany, Felix Mali. 17, USA, Connor McDermott Mustoe. 18, Canada, Connor Howe. 19, New Zealand, Peter Michael. And 20, Poland, Artur Janicki.
There is Mr. Hoelwerf. Family owns a foundation business just outside Netherlands. It's in foundations for building homes. Hoelwerf, also a marathon skater. So these 16 laps, certainly well within his ability. Just managing the ebbs and flows. 2 weeks ago was Timothy Lubino of France making the early breakaway, picked up a couple sprint points. But then Daniele Di Stefano of Italy went on the attack late, and it was really to lead out his teammate, Andrea Giovannini. And Italy going 1 and 2. Of course, defending Olympic champion from Belgium. Bart Swings sitting right there behind Bart Hoelwerf. It's the Barts in front right now. Hoelwerf and Swings. Swings' gold in Beijing was Belgium's first ever gold medal in speed skating. First sprint point coming up. Looking like it's helmets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order right now. Not the fastest of starts. I think it's Separin of the United States just coasting up the ranks without even really making a stride, making a move up the outside. Is an acceleration now as the bell rings, and looks like it's the two Americans working together going off the front. McDermott, Mostowy, and Separin going for this one. Is one leading out the other? And is this perhaps launching an attack of some kind? Will one of them just continue on? And it is going to be a USA 1-2, and they have an advantage. We'll see. Does the field stand up? Well, the Americans certainly do. But they get right back down, and it's Odor of Austria finishing in third. And yeah, the Americans, that was the target, just that sprint point. They weren't going to launch some sort of ambitious ultra long range attack. Although the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit here. The racers chasing lanes a little bit. It's a little bit convoluted there. Now an attack goes. It's Felix Reinen of Germany. And Peter Michael of New Zealand also at the front right there. Is this the makings of a breakaway group with ambitions of more than just a sprint point? And I believe Marcel Bosker of Netherlands is in there, so we'll see if 5 skaters can work together. There is Peter Michael giving way, and it's, look, Mr. Lubino is back on another attack. This time, though, he's not by himself. He has some help. And in these sorts of races, if these skaters can work together and are trying to go to the finish, everybody taking a pull, they could stay away from the field, but organization is easier said than done. And it's Daniele Di Stefano leading the field. Swings, Giovannini, Wenger, and then Coolworth. That is a lot of horsepower leading the front. And that is sprint point number 2. Lubino taking it, Reinen in second. And I thought I saw one skater put his hand on his thighs, but they're perhaps going for more here. Di Stefano wanting some help. There's not a lot of organization in the chase, and the longer this stays away, the more dangerous it becomes. Are we on pace for something of a shock result here in Stavanger? Swings trying to get somebody to help. The longer this goes, the more that benefits the breakaway. And there needs to be an organization, and there needs to be one soon. Coolworth doesn't have to do anything. He has his teammate there. Marcel Bosker could go off and take the victory. And there is a crash. That is Reinen of Germany going down. That's actually from the lead group, I believe. And so we'll see what that does to disrupt things. Reinen will be caught now, I believe, by the rest of the skaters. And it's about a half a lap. There is the sprint point. Are we on course for a shock result? There is the belt. That is a healthy gap. This is the next sprint point. 4 laps is still a long time, but that is an impressive gap. The Italians have taken up the chase. Lubino wins the sprint. Now there appears to be a bit more organization in the chase. When they're strung out like that, that means the tempo is up. But this is a group still working together. It's becoming akin to a team pursuit. Peter Michael, Arthur Janicki, Marcel Bosker, and Timothy Lubino, the front four. Bosker, who was actually born in Switzerland. A little more urgency now. Time is running out. It's the straightaway. 2 laps to go. Michael, Lubino, Janicki, and Bosker. 1, 2, 3, 4. The gap's down to 5 seconds. The legs surely are burning now. They've been on their front for a while, and now the field can cycle through more skaters. It's one of the Koreans, that is Lee, and Kikuchi of Japan at the front. This is going to be a desperate attempt to just stay away. The field is there. Down the back stretch. It's desperation now. The field chasing. Still a long way to go. It's Bosker off the front. The Dutch, could they have an all-gold medal day? Marcel Bosker bringing this one to the home. And it's the Netherlands winning yet again. And there's a crash at the line. And Hulwerf is down, but he appears to be okay. But Marcel Bosker,
The official results on the scoreboard.
his first ever mass start World Cup gold medal. He's got team pursuits. He has a 10,000. But that was unexpected. Expect the unexpected in mass start. Marcel Bosker, the men's winner.
Giovannini, and in 6th place, Sung Ja-won.
A 26-year-old. And once again, another Dutch win, and not the one we had in mind. But that is a perfect day for the Netherlands. 4 events, 4 gold medals. And there's the tumble by Reinen. Unfortunate for him. And as we are serenaded by Clench Pills, let's see if we have some results. I believe it's... We'll just wait to see how they all ironed out, because there was chaos down the stretch. There was Hulwerf going down in the background, but Bosker wins. And in the race for second, there's Swings, there's Livio Wenger. I believe it's Wenger at the line. And then Giovannini on his rear end there in 5th. That might be Molly from Germany there as well. We'll wait and see how things play out, but a lot of racers finishing on their backsides, crossing the line. Here we are. It's Busker, it's Wenger, and it's Bart Swings. Peter Michael just missing it in fourth. And sliding across the line in fifth was the winner 2 weeks ago, Andrea Giovannini. That was one of the couple of the most fun mass starts I've ever seen. And Houlworth finishing there in 20th with his crash. The World Cup leader. There should and could be a reshuffling atop the World Cup standings. Houlworth seems to be fine. And as they figure out and update the World Cup standings, we'll await the podiums. And I will be back in a few minutes to sign things off from day one in Stavanger.
Ask that thank-you-bills reduces the noise level to something bearable. Thank you. Dank u wel, thank-you-bills. Mine damer og herrer, for Norge for fellesskap vinner ladies and gentlemen awards Master Women. Medaljene og vil bli delt ut av medals will be presented by ISU representative Mr. Albert Hasselhoff. Number 3, representing the USA, Mia Gilbert-Manganello. Number 2, from Canada, Valerie Mante. Og nummer 1 og vinner, number 1 and the winner from the Netherlands, Irene Skaten. Irene Scout, Valerie Malta, Mia Kilburn Manganello. Congratulations!
Stay there for a second. Look back there for me, please. The photographer's over there. Down the bottom. One more photo. Stay here.
Mine damer og herrer, vi får medaljeseremoni for fellesstart for menn. Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony for the mass start men. Medaljene vil bli delt ut av. The medals will be presented by the ISU representative, Mr. Albert Aslak. Nummer 3, number 3, representing Belgium, Bart Swings. Number 2, from Switzerland, Livio Wenger.
Thank you very much.
Og nummer 1 og vinner, number 1 and the winner from the Netherlands, Marcel Boske.
One just looking over there, the photographer's over straight ahead.
And a Dutch delight comes to an end on day one in Stavanger. 4 events, 4 gold medals for the Netherlands. They'll be hoping to continue that tomorrow. The rest of the world will be trying, obviously, to stop them. Day 2 in Stavanger. We'll have the first 500 meters. The women's 500 meters rather for men, 1500 for women, and then the ever-grueling 10,000 meters. Rust versus Giotto expected there, but lots more to come this weekend from Stavanger, Norway. And until next time, my name is Gavin Day. Goodbye.
10,000 meters for men. And if you really want to get up in the morning, feel free to join us for the first 500 meter at 09:34. We look forward to seeing you here tomorrow and wish you a good evening and good night in Stavanger.